What up? I'm Josh Paulison, and welcome to Your Story Now. Today we are going to look at story statements. These are statements that help you clarify your vision and your purposes, and they should generally be, that's not a heart, they should generally be less than 3 sentences, because we want to keep this concise, and we want to make sure that our direction, our vision is clear. So there's 3 main parts to story statements. Number 1 is the reason. Why are you making this? Number 2 is the target. To who are you making this? Who is this perhaps a love letter to, or just really directed at target audience? And number 3 is the plan. How are you going to reach your target and accomplish your reason? So let's look at a few examples and try to fix them up and see what's wrong with them. So to make a stage play as a story statement, what's wrong with that? Well, we don't have a why. We have kind of a plan. We're going to make a stage play, but why? For whom? So maybe our goal is to make a stage play for example, I've written some skits for some performing arts schools, so maybe in my case I was making a stage play for middle schoolers. And now why? To help them get better at acting. Now when I was writing those skits, I had some very specific goals in mind. Number 1, I wanted it to be fun for the kids. It wasn't about the audience. And this is where having this kind of story statement is really helpful. If you are creating stories for a class, it might be much better for you to focus on fun to act in, even if it's not as fun to watch, because that way you're going to help people get in and help them have more fun. Anyway, so to make a stage play for middle schoolers to help them get better at acting. So we have to make a stage play, so that is the plan, the how. For middle schoolers is the target, and the reason is to help them get better at acting. So what we've got here are the 3 reasons. So a story statement could be, make a stage play for middle schoolers to help them get better at acting. That gives us a vision, that gives us an overall direction, and of course we can add to this. We could state a genre, perhaps we have a genre or a theme, but this is a good direction for now because we already have some ideas of what it could include, what it wouldn't include. For example, you're not going to go too dark because it's for middle schoolers and likely it's a part of the school. You know that you want to help them get better at acting, so you can look at what are some tricky parts of acting that people could really finesse, whether that's more character development, whether that's character switching back and forth, extreme personalities, and so on. So our second example is write a book, which a lot of people, they want to write a book. Well, why do they want to write a book? Again, this is the plan, how, but there's no reason and there's no target. So this could be, in some cases, it might be literally to improve your writing. So write a book to improve my writing. So write a book for myself to improve my writing. Now you might say, well, this doesn't really seem like a target or a plan, but this is legitimate. Sometimes you just want to write a book or write a story, create a story for your own sake, for your own enjoyment. That's okay. The reason, target, plan, setup is not to say that it's bad to create things for yourself. But if you are, be honest about that, because otherwise down the road, it might get kind of confusing if it's like, well, wait, other people don't like this. Maybe you show it in a writing group and you're the only one who loves it. But if you're making it for yourself, who cares? It's for you. So consider your goals and your vision, and that way, if something goes wrong, you won't get discouraged if it's not actually going wrong. You'll be able to see what's actually important and if you're actually moving the direction you want to. So let's look at this one. Tell a story for teens. Okay, so we have sort of a plan. Tell a story. We don't have a medium or anything like that, so maybe this is verbal storytelling. We don't have a reason. We have a target for teens, but why? And for all of these, we can always get more clear. We can always get closer, but we're kind of doing overall at the moment. Tell a story for teens. So let's say rather than tell a story, let's clarify this. So maybe this is like public speaking. So tell a verbal story, which is kind of a weird way to put it, but at least for me that helps me clarify, for teens. Tell a verbal story for teens. Why? It could be to help them grow in confidence. Maybe your goal is to encourage them. Whatever your goal, you need to make sure that you have that in your story statement. And here's the next one, make people laugh. Seems like a great reason, but who? Who is people? How? I mean, sure, I guess that you could make stories to make dogs or cats laugh, but probably you're always going to be targeting people. So who? What if it was make married people in their 40s laugh? That's a much more specific target. Make married people in their 40s laugh, and we could do this through a lot of different means. It could be through a Netflix TV series, or just TV series. I don't know why we have to specify Netflix. through an online TV series is what I was going for more so. So make married people in their 40s laugh through an online TV series. Now, this gives you some vision. I mean, I would say something about the terminology for making people laugh, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Now we have a reason we want to make them laugh. Now, you could still get more specific and say why. So you could say to give them energy for their everyday lives. And so what we've got here is make married people. We've got our target in their 40s. Married people in their 40s is our target. And then we've got to give them energy for their everyday lives. That's our reason. We're making them laugh, and we're giving them energy for their everyday lives through that. And we're doing that through an online TV series. Now we have more of a vision for our story. And finally, we're going to look at encourage people to support Charity A. Yes, this could be an advertisement, or maybe it's still considered a longer work. It wouldn't fall under advertisement, but yeah, this could be an advertisement. Encourage people to support Charity A. So we have the reason. We want to encourage people to support Charity A. We could probably clarify this so that Charity A can do more work. And so we have, again, not a clear target. People is very broad. Odds are you're not going to be targeting middle schoolers or high schoolers for this. You're likely going to be targeting people older than that, but it depends on your charity, and it's worthwhile to know. So perhaps you are encouraging people in their 60s, depending. Perhaps you're encouraging people in their 60s to support Charity A. So now you have a target, people in their 60s. Again, we can always get more close on a lot of these, more precise, but encourage people in their 60s to support Charity A so that Charity A can do more work. We have the reason, but we don't have the plan. And so maybe this is through a book series, or through a novel series, or maybe it doesn't really matter how. And so we're just looking at through a story or a series of stories, but then we need to zone in on this later on. I'm going to get more into medium choice in other videos, but for now, what this is doing is that this is helping us look at what we're actually trying to accomplish. Make a stage play for middle schoolers to help them get better at acting is much more clear for us in creating our stories than simply make a stage play. Write a book for myself to improve my writing might seem self-serving, but it's actually very helpful. And you're being honest, which helps you to go, okay, what's something tricky? What's something challenging for me? Do I struggle with dialogue? Then I ought to look at a dialogue-heavy story. Or maybe you are really good at a lot of different things, but you want to stretch yourself in a new genre. So if its goal is to improve your writing, then try picking something that you wouldn't normally pick. But it's possible that alternatively, if you're telling a verbal story for teens, that you're going to go with a genre that you've seen that teens like and that you're very comfortable and familiar with, and that's okay too. Your story statement will drive a lot of your choices in the story and make a lot of it easier. We're going to get more into story statements and vision in the next videos.